I don't know if I got to think about it. What you really need is like a set of dowels or a set of rods that are all different diameters. But that's welcome back to the Workbench, where we try to make things, and I emphasize the word try on this one. But what we're trying to make right now is the Bamboo Creek water garden. And if you'd like to try to make it on your own yourself, check the description down below. There's a link there where you can get your own Bamboo Creek water garden. But let's go ahead and get to work here. And yesterday we did not make it very far. In fact, yesterday was I'd probably classify it as a mild disaster. It didn't go so well, but I did fix one issue. So yesterday, basically, we unboxed the kit and then got this little pan and fruit done. And I didn't realize, so I want to point this out to you guys. Like, I didn't know how long to cut the little handles here let me show it down below here. I wasn't sure how long to cut these little handles. Well, it's literally right here in front of my face. It says 10 millimeters. I don't know if you guys can see it. 10 millimeters. That's how long, I mean, it told us how long to cut it. So I went back and fixed it. I cut them shorter. And now I think the pan looks much more appropriate, looks much better. So now we'll move along. The other thing I wanted to mention too is I did do a little pre-gaming. I think what our goal is going to be is we're going to try to make our way through the end of this little sink cooking station here. And I've got all the pieces we need kind of pulled out of the bags already, so you don't have to watch me fumbling through bags and digging through bags. We should have everything we need to go. And speaking of which is what we need to make the little cooktop, which I think is underneath here. Yep. And I guess a word of advice, the paper that we cut this out of, let me bring it over and I kind of show you. The way this comes is in one huge sheet. So my kind of word of advice would be go ahead and cut them apart into manageable pieces like this. Otherwise you have literally like a 6 foot by 4 foot piece of paper you're trying to deal with. They cut these the little paper goods out of. So yeah, that's just a quick word of advice. And I've already got the little cooktop cut out. And basically all the instructions say is stick, what is it, G18 to E22. When it says stick them together, I'm assuming it means glue them together. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, by the way, I never found the glue that came with this, if it did. I don't think it actually came with glue. I think I'm clogged up here. I guess it just didn't come with glue. I was not able to find it if I happened to lose it, but we unboxed this thing together. I mean, you saw what came out of it. All right, my glue is really jammed up here. There we go. Clean the glue spout there. Okay, let's see. So I guess what we'll do, we'll just put, I think the way I'm going to do this, well, I'm going to try it. There we go. What do I have? What would be a good, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I've got a little piece of styrene here. I'm going to cut a piece of it off like so. And that's going to be my glue spreader. Because I think the main thing we want to do is make sure our glue gets to the edges. You know, what's most important is get it out there to those edges of the board. This is a little piece, this black piece that I have here. What is it? E22. It's one of the wood pieces. So we definitely want to get that glued out to the edges. Otherwise, your paper will start to pill up on you, and that's definitely what you don't want. Okay, let's go with that. I've got glue all over my fingers. Perfect. Just how we like it. This glue, by the way, I'm using, just so you know, I'm using the tacky glue. What is it? Aleene's tacky glue. You can get it at any big box hobby store. The stuff's actually very good. And it dries clear, so you don't have to worry about, you know, a little bit of glue showing or anything. So anyway, there's our, I guess, the cooker. And then I guess apparently the little pot we made is going to go on the cooker. What does that say there? Does it has some words? I have no idea what that says. I'm too blind. I can't tell. It probably says glue here. I don't know. But I think the way I'm going to glue that. Oh, by the way, I went and got my medium density Starbond CA glue. Get your Starbond CA glue down in the description. There's a discount for you down there. This is going to work much better for us than the ultra thin stuff we were trying to use yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was just an absolute disaster, and I apologize. I just was ill prepared, not ready to go. Everything went wrong. So we're going to just kind of set that on here. I'm going to set it just a hair askew. Just things like, when things are just a little askew, it looks a little more natural to me. And I'm going to slide that up and out of the way now. And so what is next? Oh, we're going to do a little plate of fruit. Okay, so we got a plate. I'm pretty sure this is, let me make sure this is the right F49. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm looking at, but basically I'm just checking. Let me slide this over so you can check with me. I want to make sure this is the right piece I pulled out of here. I'm kind of double guessing. F4, no, that's right. That's what it, I don't know what's easiest for you guys to see, but that's F49. That's the correct piece. All right, so all we need to do now is, it wants us to just kind of glue up. I hope you guys can see everything I'm doing. It wants us to kind of just glue some fruit on there. So let's, I'm just going to put a touch. Let me see if I can do this without making a huge mess. I'm just going to put a touch of CA just like that. Now this plate has a hole in it, so what I'm probably doing is just gluing it to the table where it's pulling out. And then it has us putting, where's our trusty tweezers that this came in this kit. Just kind of drop them on there like so. It has basically, we'll do it like they've got it. They've got kind of like a layer of whatever this green, I'm assuming it's like kiwi or something maybe. Well, if it will lay down, I don't want it standing on its side. Lay down for me. I mean, this is the thing about these kits is, or at least for me, even the smallest thing is like putting fruit on a plate. Oh God, it is gluing to the table. Okay, there we go. It takes time. it like really takes a lot of time to actually put any of this together. I do not want this. It's trying to glue to the table. Let me put just a touch of glue there. I think I'm going to put one more slice. I mean, I have it, so why not? Put one more slice of this stuff. Like so, and then I'm going to put, they kind of have the other stuff, whatever it is. I am definitely not a foodie if you're not telling. If you can't tell, we'll put it right there. And now we have like a plate. Dang it, it's gluing to the table, and this is a problem. Why does the plate have a hole in it? Doesn't make any sense to me. If we just kind of keep moving it around, it'll eventually not glue. All right. And I probably need to wipe the glue up too. Let's slide that out of the way. Go on up there and glue to the table up there. All right, perfect. And now what we need to do is make the faucet. And this can be kind of a lot of fun sometimes because they want you to use, it's this wire right here. We're going to use this copper wire. I don't know if you guys can see it. And it's hard to keep this stuff make this stuff straight. I bet there's a trick to how to make this stuff straight, and I just don't know it. Let's see. First of all, we need to cut it 25. I see it now. 25 millimeters in length. Let's see. So 25 is going to be right there for all us Americans. That's 2.5 centimeters or 25 millimeters. Right there. All right. Now, what we need to do, we need to put the hook in it. And this is always the part that I find tricky, is making this actually look good. I'm going to use the screwdriver that came in the kit, and I'm going to try to just roll this around it. That's probably too much of a roll, but it actually looks pretty decent. So I'm going to go with it. I don't want to mess with it too much. Can I straighten that a little bit? And then because what we need to do now is we're going to put this, we're going to use one. Yeah, we're going to lose our gold bead. I see it. 1 second, I'll be right back. Oh, where are you? There you are. It's very important sorry, to sit back up very awkwardly, but it's also very important to make sure below your work table you have carpet. So if anything falls down there, it just falls into the carpet and you never can find it. Okay, so this needs to go on the end of this thing like that. And I found the best way to do this. I'm going to sit it on the hole. And I know you guys probably can't see any of this because it's so tiny. But what I like to do, I just use this is again just a piece of plastic styrene. But I just put a little puddle of CA, and then I'll just dip kind of the end in it like so, and then stick that into like so. And then what we, now, you know what, I don't want to, now, so here's the deal too. With CA glue, if you let it dry naturally, it dries clear. If I spray this, it'll haze. And I don't want it to haze up this copper. So I'm gonna just take this just as it is. I'm gonna let it dry just a little bit, but I think I can just lay it. Yeah, it'll just lay up there and that'll dry, that'll cure for us while we work on the next piece, which is, let me make sure my camera's straight. Yesterday I noticed I knocked my camera crooked down here, so I just wanna make sure it stays straight below. Let's do this guy here, which I've got these pieces also. Basically, what is this? It's like a little, like a rice bowl, I guess. Yeah, where's, oh, it's gonna go down here on the shelf. I see, okay. Yeah, like a little, I think that's what it probably is a little rice bowl. So we need those two little bead whatevers, and then we need some more of the black, which I'm probably gonna be woefully short of because I overcut the handles on the pot yesterday, but that's okay. I need to cut this 22 millimeters. They get very specific on the lengths here. So let's see, 22, which is 2.2 centimeters, 22. So I'm gonna come in with my little snippers and cut it right there. Okay, and now we gotta try, the idea is to roll this into a circle that, I don't, how do you do that? That fits on top of this bead. You know what I really need, and I don't know if I gotta think about it. What you really need is like a set of dowels or a set of rods that are all different diameters. But that's the problem, is you would need every diameter, and then you could just find the right diameter, roll this around it. You know what I mean? Like, it would be neat to have just a set of that. I'm trying to do this with my hands. I think what I'm gonna have to do to make it roll at the end here is use some needle nose pliers. Oh, see, that's the problem, is that it's hard to make it nice and smooth. I mean, I guess you just do the best you can. We got to have these two ends meet up exactly like so. And then it ends up kind of oblong, you know, kind of oval. Let me see if I can kind of squeeze it around. There we go. I mean, that's pretty close. Is that going to even fit properly, I guess? You know what it really has to happen is this piece has to fit inside of it. I think that's pretty close. Okay. I'm going to go with it. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to take the end of my bead here, whatever, what we're using as a, I think what would be a, like a rice bowl. And I'm going to glue it to my finger like so. Ow. Ah, okay. Where's my tweezers? I'm going to use my real tweezers. I'm going to try to just set that right on there. Centered. That's pretty close, I think. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing with this guy. I'm going to grab this little bead, which is going to be our lid. Let me kind of just give it some glue. And now I think I have glued it to the tweezers, which is typical for me. That's how I do things. I want that to be straight. Come on, straighten out. There we go. And now the lesson that I've had to learn over time is, and here I go. I was literally about to say, the lesson I have learned is once it looks good, just don't touch it anymore. And then I want to make it just perfect. But I think, because we'll have it sitting out that way. Yeah, don't see why do I keep messing with it? Don't touch it. Okay, leave it. Done. Okay, and now we got to put this little guy. Oh, and I didn't pull that. That's F52. Let me see. I need to find that guy. I didn't pull that out of here. Let's see. Let me pull the gold pieces out. Where's F52? It's just, oh, okay. It's just a little, it's a little black, oh, there's like a few of them in here. Where'd it go? I thought I had everything prepared. Of course I don't. Oh man, I can't grab the, oh, I've got one. I think it got stuck to my finger. All right, that's what's gonna go on top of the lid. Oh boy. Okay, so let's bring our CA back over. Where's the tweezers? Can I get these tweezers into the end of that thing? Yep. Okay. Boop, boop. Just a little, just a little bit there, and then stick it. Yes, like so. Perfect. And then now there's going to be a little label. Can you guys see it? Let me move. Can I move this out of the way without goofing it up? Let me slide it out this way. Whoa, there we go. Okay. There's a little label that goes on this, which I've already cut out right here. But I think I'm just going to set it with the pot. If I can flip it over, I'm going to set it over there with the pot because I want that to fully cure before I start trying to put labels on it. And I thought what we'd do is just move on to trying to put the cabinet part itself together. I think the only somewhat complicated part, it's probably not even that complicated, we got to glue this kind of tweed or whatever this is, this material to these guys. I think it's supposed to make it look a little bit like wicker. So what I think I'll do, I'm just going to set that on there. Let me grab my, oh, here's these scissors. Always know where your CA glue thing is so you don't get it on stuff. All right. So I'm just going to kind of hold this on here like so. I'm going to cut. I'm cutting it oversized, obviously, because what I think we'll do is glue it on and then cut it down. I mean, that's kind of what they're showing to do. Got to be a little bit careful. This is a very loosely woven material, so it's kind of wanting to come unwoven as I cut it apart, you know. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to set that over there for now. You know what I'm going to do too also is I'm going to move the instructions out of the way, because now what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to try to I think I'm just going to coat this side. I'm going to coat this with glue, with the white glue, the tacky glue, and then kind of let it glue up on that, on the tweed material, whatever that is. And then, let me pull, let's see. Just gonna kind of go here. And then once this fully dries, this glue, you know what, I'm just gonna really kind of spread this stuff. I'm gonna spread it around like so. I have my little, what I do with my spreader. Always keep these bottles, by the way, I always keep these bottles stored upside down. I have a rack that it sits on this way. That way the glues are, otherwise you will be waiting an hour for the glue to run to the end of the, you know, down to the end so you can get glue out of it via gravity, you know. Okay, so let's take that and I'm just gonna pop it down like so. Now I've got some extra glue on there. I think what I'm gonna do is just take, if I had a little sharp Q-tip, that'd be the way to do it. But what I can do is kind of just sharpen up a paper towel here and just try to get some of that glue, the extra glue out of here, like so. Yeah, and then that's gonna be fine, I think. Let me just kind of, there we go. And we're gonna have to do that again. Where's the other ones? This guy, let me make sure, cut that one a little tight, but that's okay. So let's do it again so that these can be kind of gluing up while we're moving on. Yeah, I'm always amazed by, before I start filming, I think, okay, let's, you know, I want to keep these videos around 20 minutes or so, which we are hitting the 20-minute mark now, I think. And so I look at the instructions and I try to plan out, well, we should be able to do through this step, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like we can make it, we should be able to make it this far. And I always overjudge. It's amazing how I underjudge the amount of time it takes to do all these, because we work in real time here. You know, this is I want you to see what really happens, or how this goes about, or what all needs to be done to make this happen. Actually, what I want you to see is all the things I do wrong, so you don't do them wrong. That's at the end of the day. But I'm amazed by the amount of time it takes to do these little things. Okay, so we're going to set those up. We're going to let those dry as best we can. Now I think we should be able to put the rest of this. Yeah, we can put the box stuff, the rest of it together, and these can go in at the end. But what we need to do now, what's kind of neat, this is like the sink, and there's a silver. We have this mirror foil that's going to go underneath it. It kind of makes it look like there's water in the sink. And I need to cut this 18 by 14. So I don't know the best way to mark this. 18 is there. Can I just hit it with, I bet I could do this. How big is this thing? I mean, is that like exactly, is this? No, it's like barely over. So let me go, I bet I can kind of mark it like that. 18 by 14. Like that. And then let me mark 14 over here at the 18. And then I think I might be good enough to just take the scissors, cut to there, and then cut straight across there. And then let's see if that's big enough. Are these the same both sides? I think so. Kind of like that side looks a little better, so we'll glue it to this side. Yeah, and I think we'll be fine. And I'm going to use the tacky glue again here. And I think I can just kind of, just put a spot of glue on each side here. If I can get the glue to come out, there we go. Like so. Now I do want to pull, I'm going to pull that glue away. Where'd I put my, I want to pull this glue away from the edge. Because what I don't want to happen, I don't want this glue to squeeze out over the foil, squeeze out in ways, because then it'll kind of ruin the effect a little bit, I would think. Even though it does dry clear, I think you'd still be able to see it. Okay, so let's just kind of tap. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so let's set that to the side, and now we're gonna have to put actually let's just leave it here, because we're gonna put these guys, and this is always the fun part, right? We got to try to build these. I don't ever really know the easiest way to do this. Let me do this. I'm gonna use my board again, but this time I'm gonna use it with the white glue. So I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of white glue here, or tacky glue, or whatever you want to call this stuff. Where did I put, oh, here we go. And then I'm just going to kind of get some glue on the edge like so, because I want it fully on the edge, and kind of smear it like that, and then come in, slide that, and we're going to just really kind of eyeball this for right now as far as squareness. But what I really want is to make the edge, and I just lost my lower camera. The battery just does not last very long on my camera down below. So we're definitely have to be doing this from up top. Okay. Again, my main concern is just getting these edges lined up. I mean, this is again just a butt joint, so it's not the best. It's not the best joint in the world. I want to wipe the excess glue if I can a little bit here. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing here, like so. And then, okay, and then while this tacks up, because we're going to have to put the bottom of the cabinet on, like so. And then I just want to double check that we're, now, the thing is I need to get glue on there, and I think I'll just do that carefully like so. The thing is I just don't want a huge amount of extra glue, so I'm being very careful. Trying to put this on, you know, lightly apply the glue there, because what we want to do is make sure and get this all 4 sides glued up, and then if we get them all equal like so, and then I'm going to flip this over the way it goes. Whoops, and I just moved it. Wonderful. And then we should be able to just square this up now. And do I have something, you know, something that I know is square, that I can kind of push? It has to be the bottom, you know, it has to be square from the bottom to the top, obviously. That's what I do here. I just state the obvious. Where do I have that'll work though is the problem. I need something that goes all the way to the ground. I wasn't really planning this very well. This is nice and square. Here we go. Let's use my little bottle of brown wash. And I'm going to push up top. In fact, do I have a second bottle? Yeah. Here's, I think, the game plan. We're going to squeeze this in between the two. There we go. And now that should be, without a doubt, this should be square. If I leave that to, well, you know, I'm assuming, well, that moved on me. As long as our edges are aligned. Obviously there's a lot of assumptions going on. One, we're assuming that all this wood is cut square, but I've had pretty good luck with that. I haven't, they laser cut these, and they usually are very, very accurate from what my experience on these different kits. There, that should be gluing up square. So I think we're going to let that glue up square. And then we'll have to put, so I think when we come back, so I need to let this stuff dry. We're getting along in the time for sure. So if you're still with me, thank you very much. Listening to me ramble and poorly make miniature models or miniature dollhouses. Yeah, so I think when we come back, we'll actually do this step. We'll finish up putting this together, which is kind of just putting all the details together. And then we'll get on with some of the shelving and the fridge, and we'll just keep moving along. I'll try to have all this stuff prepared for us, ready to go, so we can move along quickly. We can just start working. But I think we're making good progress. Let me know what you think down in the description. I don't want to ramble any longer, so thank you for joining me today. Again, if you'd like to build your own, there's a link down in the description for you where you can get your own build along. It'll be a lot of fun. We can do this together. You can make all the same mistakes I make. But thank you for joining me. Hit that like button if you would. Leave me those comments. Subscribe, follow. I don't know, do all those things you do on YouTube. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.